All right. Good afternoon, good morning, good day, everyone, and most importantly, welcome. My name is Vanessa Vassell. I am one of our outreach and engagement specialists here at CEEJH, the Center for Engagement, Environmental Justice, and Health. Want to just give a heartfelt thank you to everyone for taking the time to join us. And it is my genuine honor and pleasure to welcome you to our Climate Justice Fellows final showcase. A little bit about our program. Launched in 2023, this fellowship is a virtual program that educates individuals on environmental and climate justice, empowering fellows with ties to frontline communities to address local challenges. Fellows progress through an intensive 10 to 13 module curriculum, culminating in a capstone or technical assistant project, which of course we will see today. Having our Director of Education, Nicole Jackson, on the line. She was a former fellow and a former senior fellow, so she was the perfect person to lead this year's cohort. She redesigned the program to be more practical and more globally oriented. CEEJH centered everything around real world application through what Dr. Wilson has coined as empowerment science. And it's a framework from our executive director, Dr. Shakobi Wilson, which some of you have met and know. Empowerment science includes community-based participatory research, right? CBPR, citizen science, and collaborative problem solving. Our fellows engage with assignments rooted in actual case studies tailored to their community's specific needs. This philosophy, empowerment science, culminates in today's final presentations and assignments. In a significant shift, we challenged this year's fellows to be proactive and develop their own initiatives, moving beyond traditional capstones. They also gained hands-on experience working directly with CEEJH staff, like myself, on technical projects and policy analysis to air quality monitoring, and we are so grateful for their contributions. This practice-based model was implemented on an unprecedented scale, expanding our fellowship across a global network for the first time. We were thrilled to welcome a remarkably diverse cohort from 16 different countries, which profoundly enriched our discussions and broadened our understanding of our interconnected global challenges. If you are interested or you know anybody that might be interested in applying for next year's cohort, reach out to us at fellows@ceej.org. We'll drop the email in the chat because our applications will be opening very, very soon. And we want to make sure that we forward those applications to you or to anyone in your community that you think would be a great fit. We will be having 2 info sessions. One of them will be on November 10th at 12 noon Eastern, and the other one will be coming up in December on the 16th at 7 p.m. Eastern. So, with that intro, the presentations that you are about to see and experience are a testament to our fellows' dedication, their creativity, and their global perspectives. I'm going to ask that if you have questions, that you hold them till the end so that our fellows can get through their amazingly and professionally prepared presentations without interruption. But we will get to everyone's questions at the end, so feel free to put them in the Q&A box, and we will get to them in the end. So I know that we have 4 presentations today. And so before we get kicked off, I just want to make sure that everyone is here. Let's see. Okay, so we will start. This is the order that we're going to go today. We're going to start with Beatrice, and then our second presentation will be, oh, I'm sorry, we'll start with Gyasi Gomez, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing it wrong, so you'll be able to introduce yourself and correct me. Beatrice Olu Ogbuagu. Our third presentation will be from Obed Lukubusi. So we'll ping and make sure that they'll be here on time for their presentation and wrap it up with Augustine Kasureka Siluliku Gundu. So I'm just going to take a moment to briefly read some short intros so that everyone is aware of the amazing presenters that we have today. So Gyasi is a qualitative AI research project manager at APEN, where she leads efforts to develop proposals and secure contracts with leading technology companies. She holds a bachelor's in sociology and a master's degree in international social welfare and health policy. She has recently served as the youngest ever commissioner and vice mayor for the city of District Heights. Her approach to public service is guided by a sociological theory and a commitment to, sorry, and a commitment to building safer, more inclusive, and proactive communities. Our next speaker after Gyasi will be Beatrice, who is a geologist and a PhD candidate in sustainability at the University of South Dakota. Her research focuses on dust sources and their health impacts in Utah's Great Basin, specifically examining the role of human disturbances. As a teaching assistant and tutor, she is passionate about education and advancing practical sustainability solutions that empower vulnerable communities to adapt to environmental change and protect public health. Third, we'll have Obed, who is a senior data analyst at Tech for Good Africa, leveraging data and technology to address environmental and social injustices. A geologist and climate justice advocate, he serves as a student ambassador for Stop Ecocide International and a campus focal point for the Friends of Nature Network. Obed is committed to grassroots movement, youth empowerment, and using science to amplify marginalized voices in the pursuit of climate resilience and environmental justice. Finally, we'll wrap up the day with Augustine, who is a biodiversity conservation and environmental justice activist in the Democratic Republic of Congo. As the founder of the AWC UPCED network and a member of VPF, he works to raise awareness about peaceful coexistence between humans and nature and restore degraded ecosystems. He places an awareness, pardon me, he places a strong emphasis on engaging youth to rebuild resilient, environmentally sustainable societies. We are so proud because those bios were stellar. So we are so proud to have these presentations with us. And so because of time, I'm going to pass it on over to our first presenter. Thank you so much. And once again, share your questions in the chat. Feel free to get started, Gyasi.
Okay, thank you so much, Vanessa. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. All right. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me this morning for my final presentation, and I look forward to hearing from my fellows on their presentations as well. My name is Gyasi Gomez. I am the former, at this point, Vice Mayor of the City of District Heights, which is the focus of my presentation and my final assignment, which was the Climate Resilience Plan. So today we're going to walk through a community drill simulation related to an emergency extreme heat response. So the purpose of this community drill is to demonstrate how the City of District Heights would activate its resilience hub and block captain network during a multi-day extreme heat event. What we will talk about today is the hub activation procedures, how the block captain system works in action. We'll talk through some coordination between the city, residents, and the county, and also identify how this works to address vulnerable populations. And so, for a little bit of context on why this matters for District Heights is a city of just under 6,000 residents, um, with about 16% of those residents are elderly residents over the age of 65, as well as 25% of, or about a quarter of our residents are children under the age of 18. Um, Within households, children actually represent or households that have children in them actually represent 40% of the total households of the city as well. 15% of residents live below the poverty line. And the city of District Heights has a quite high social vulnerability index of 0.81, which is the threshold is 0.75. And so effects from natural disasters and weather events have some greater effects on residents here. And a heat event I thought would be a good simulation as we are increasingly seeing hotter days, stretches of days, and this is predicted to increase, really double within the next 30 years. Okay, so let's go into day one of our simulation of an extreme heat event. So day one, this is next summer, Tuesday, July 15th. At 6 o'clock in the morning, the Weather Service issues an excessive heat warning with forecasts between 105 and 110 degrees for 3 consecutive days. Current temperature at 6 o'clock is 78 degrees with a humidity level of 85%. At 6:30, Alert Prince George's, which is the county's early warning system, sends automated messages to all Prince George's County residents and residents in District Heights who are registered via email, text, or phone. And at this point, at 7 o'clock, the city's designated emergency manager would activate the resilience hub that's located at the municipal building. They'd make that decision to activate the hub and move forward. So, how would hub activation play out? So, the designated emergency manager for the city decides to activate the hub based on the multi-day heat event. The emergency manager would then alert the city manager, the elected officials, the Department of Public Works staff, as well as the resident-led Citizens Action Patrol and their designated coordinator. They would confirm that the hub would be activated. At this point, the Citizen Action Patrol coordinator would activate the block captain phone tree, and that would be an alert that would go out to 20 block captains. At 7:15, we would have the city communications department amplify the Alert Prince George's alerts via our own communication channels, whether that be our email distribution list, the city website, and social media, just to reinforce those alerts for those who are not signed up for Alert Prince George's. And by 7:30, knowing that we've activated the hub, DPW staff would open the municipal campus and start to test the HVAC systems, any backup generators, just making sure everything is up and running. DPW staff would continue to set up water stations, charging stations, and cooling areas for folks who are going to be coming into the resiliency hub. And by 9 o'clock, the hub is open. So let's talk a little bit more about the block captain system. Um, the Citizen Action Patrol has a block captain system, and through the city of District Heights, we have 20 trained block captains who cover about 20 to 30 households. They would prioritize contact with vulnerable groups, including seniors, folks who live with disabilities, folks who don't have AC in their homes, etc. When we've called our block captains, although we have 20 trained, 10 are actually available and activated for wellness checks and mobilization. So let's check in. It's noon on day one. The temperature is increasing. It's now 108 degrees. And we currently have 12 folks who are at the hub receiving cooling, water, charging their phones. And the average stay is about, two to 3 hours. We actually receive a alert from a block captain out doing wellness checks that they're unable to get in contact with one of their neighbors who is elderly and lives without AC and is also diabetic. That block captain has contacted the Citizen Action Patrol coordinator, and they were able to get in contact with the non-emergency line for the police department. The police department goes out and does a wellness check, finds Mrs. Johnson in her home, disoriented, experiencing some heat exhaustion, and 911 is called. EMS arrives and they're able to stabilize Mrs. Johnson, and then Mrs. Johnson is transported to the hospital for further evaluation. By 4 p.m., the heat index is still quite high at 107 degrees. And now we have a compounding emergency. Pepco, our utility company, has reported a transmission failure. And there are about 1,000 households, just about half of households that are now out of power. So no heat, no refrigeration, and no air. No heat, of course not. No AC. And they've also alerted us that we should not really expect power until about midnight at the earliest. So now we have a compound emergency response. Not only is it 102 outside, we also have power outages. And at this point, the designated emergency manager briefs the city administrator, the elected officials, and confirms a decision to extend the hub on an as-needed basis given the outage. The city also reaches out to Prince George's County for mutual aid in terms of more supplies, water, etc. DPW staff again check the HVAC systems and check the backup generators to make sure that the hub can continue to function. And at this point, we've now redirected all of our 10 block captains to go door to door in the neighborhood and where there is an outage, just to redirect and alert folks to the fact that the hub is going to remain open. At the end, the city is able to receive a delivery from the county, which includes water and non-perishable food supplies. And here's just a quick status update of where we are at 8 p.m. during the outage. We have about 45 residents at the center. And now folks are asking if it's okay for them to stay overnight since power has not been restored. And so the hub is deciding to stay open, as was the decision by the emergency manager and the electeds and the city administrator. There's a transition to an overnight mode. Prince George's County delivers more mutual aid in the form of cots and blankets for overnight. And food is served and we're sort of in a holding pattern. Now at 2 o'clock in the morning, power is restored at 50%, 60%. and some residents do decide to go home. About 23 residents decide to stay until the morning. Day two, Wednesday, there is another excessive heat warning at 106 degrees. Mrs. Johnson from day one returns home from the hospital and does actually come back to the resiliency hub to receive some AC for the rest of the day. Now, at 10 a.m. in the morning at the hub, a Spanish-speaking family arrives. It's a family of four. One of their children seems very lethargic, and no one speaks English. And so at the hub, our staff use some phone translation apps to try to communicate as much as possible, attending to the child, giving the child water, moving the child to a cool area, while hub staff attempt to locate a block captain or a volunteer who can speak Spanish and translate. Day three, the weather patterns it's still hot, but we're getting reports that there will be a shift. The news is reporting a front approaching from the west, so we expect that temperatures will drop that evening. And the National Weather Service puts an expiration of 8 p.m. tonight on the severe heat event. And so by 6 p.m., the hub operations is winding down, and by 8, the warning expires. So let's quickly look at some outcomes from the hub and block captain network. 127 residents were able to be served over the 3 days. Part overnight shelter was provided for upwards of 45 people. A few hospitalizations were presented by people who came into the hub showing mild signs of heat exhaustion, like the child from day 2. There were no heat-related deaths. The block captains were able to conduct up to 50 plus checks over 3 days. And the average hub activation time was about 90 minutes. So some things that made this a successful response. There was an early warning system via the Alert Prince George's system that the city was able to expand to District Heights residents, utilizing the block captain system, as well as having a hub, a central location that actually had a generator for folks to be able to come to during the outage. The city and county coordination and communication in regards to mutual aid, delivery of resources, and utilizing the community trust through the Citizen Action Patrol's block captain system, as well as being able to extend to have 24-hour service as needed, right, and well into the night for that power outage. So some items for improvement and lessons learned. So there was a pretty large language access gap in terms of a Spanish-speaking family coming in and staff having to find a way to get a volunteer to be able to translate. The hub did almost hit capacity during that overnight power outage time. PG County was able to deliver 30 cots, and that only was enough given that folks were able to go home at a certain time. Obviously, restocking medical supplies and other supplies that might have been depleted during the 3-day event. And as well as understanding that digital alerts were not effective during the power outage. So if we're circulating messages from Alert Prince George's, something to think about how we would do that during a power outage, as well as maybe some of the block captains not understanding what the reporting requirements are around 911. And so, what's the value here? I think we could have had some different outcomes, using the example of Mrs. Johnson at home, or a child who might be experiencing some mild heat exhaustion. Um, we were able to, again, shelter 127 residents. There were no heat-related deaths. And there was a level of community response by utilizing the block captain system. And again, this is important because last year in Maryland, there were 7 heat-related deaths. And heat is actually the #1 weather-related killer in the United States. And again, since that we know that these events are going to double over the next 30 years, it's important for us to think through how we would navigate when these situations come up. And, this was great because we were able to use local volunteers, our block captains, our CAB coordinators, to mobilize and get information out and check on neighbors. And a community space that's close, the municipal building is located centrally within our neighborhoods. It's not in a commercial area. It's something that, people can walk to if needed. It's not far. And so I will end with saying that exploring the city of District Heights climate vulnerability and planning for resilience requires centering residents, local governance, and civic structures in disaster planning and resilience design. So thank you so much for listening. I hope I didn't take too much time. I'm going to pass it back to Vanessa.
Thank you all so much. Thank you, Gyasi, and please show some love in the chat and with your reactions, because that was a phenomenal example of a system that we all, can learn something from. So thank you so much. We are gonna just ask a couple of questions to our presenter. Let's see if any have.
Vanessa, can we save questions until the end so
Oh, all
all
at
of
the
the
end.
fellows can get through there? Yeah, thank
No
you.
problem. Okay, great. So next up, we have Beatrice, and take it away.
Hi everyone. For my final project, I was actually looking for something that I'm passionate about and something so personal to me. And the issue of waste came to my mind, and I decided to do something on waste. So this is a proposed project for Awotan Waste to Energy and Clean Water Justice Hub. Okay, so Awotan dump site is located in Ido local government area of Oyo State, Nigeria. And it has, the community has about over 1,000 population. And the land site covers 20 acres of land and has been active since 1998. The facility currently is owned and managed by the Oyo State government, and they account that over 36,000 tons of waste are received annually. However, due to poor management, environmental neglect, and other factors, compounding factors due to climate change and environmental factors, research has had that there's a presence of bacterial contamination from the water resources in the region, and also presence of trace metals like lead and copper. And it's said that the residents were not like properly informed before the the dump site was activated in the region. So it's a clear history of environmental neglect over the years. So before 2019, this was the state of the landfill. And first, because the landfill is located in a residential area, which is not supposed to be, But then, since it's already there, there's supposed to be like proper maintenance to help save the life of the resident, because this area now is actually very in an economic collapse because of the foul odor from the landfill and also the road maintenance. So I was trying to look at Google Earth, and you can see that the distance from the landfill to like some residential area is less than a mile. Unfortunately, my house is just around the corner too, so we are all in this burden together. And this was the state of the landfill. However, the current government in 2019 came to the plea of the residents, and it made headlines in the news that from agony to testimony. And so far, they were able to achieve this. So what the government did was just to upgrade the landfill, upgrade the dump site rather, because it's still a dump site to me. They upgraded it through their rehabilitation process. So what they were able to achieve are like safety measures. They now connected it to a fire hydrant, and they now do daily capping of the waste. They installed the solar panel there, and according to them, they have a special leachate pond for treating of the leachate and subsequent irrigation, which I don't think is really effective. So I'm proposing that we have a more justice-centered approach, that we incorporate the community members and also help to alleviate all the environmental hazards, and if possible, get more economic stability to the region. And we want to achieve this through a justice-centered solution, which we focused on waste to energy and also clean water hubs. And we hope that with this, we can able to, meet some SDG goal, develop more community resilience, create job opportunities, and many more. So how we want to do this is through a very focused community engagement, so that we can have this land justice intervention. And we hope that this community engagement will be binding by the Nigerian Cooperative Society Act 1994, which provides this legal framework for communities and allow communities to establish cooperatives for shared ownership and benefits. Then secondly, we have to co-design. So in this situation, we don't want the communities to just be the recipients of the burden, like be the victim, but we want them to partake in the co-creation and design of something that will be a common good and can help them. So we hope to achieve that through some workshops and meeting, and also all residents, including men, women, and youth, and of course, experts that will be giving technical advice and mentorship. Again, we hope that it can also empower the youth, because they will be the ones like being the waste collectors, the biodigester operators, the air quality monitoring installation, and other things. And we also hope that it will be sustainable through our cooperative model. So this engagement model, like I said, it's not theoretical. It builds on the cultural strength already established in Awotan. So currently we have very strong women groups, we have active youth associations, and we have local chiefs that, talk about like the affairs and manages the affairs of the community. So we hope that with the engagement model, it will be a success. Then we hope that this plan will be attainable in 12 months. That's 1 year, like from the site preparation, which will take about 2 months, to construction of the engineered landfill and the installation of the biodigesters and gas collectors, which will take like 2 months or 3 months. So this is just like how we want it to be. And we feel that this is a realistic and a transformative way to go about it. Then the next is the funds. So we proposed a pilot phase of $50,000. And the construction of this engineered landfill. So currently, like I said, they just upgraded the dump site, because I know it's not yet a landfill. something to be called a landfill, it has to be engineered. They have to be proper liner systems. They have to be gas collectors. They have to be proper groundwater monitoring systems. So which is lacking currently in the dump site. So we hope that both the construction, both the biodigesters, the importation of the materials needed to build all this, it will cost about $20,000, which is carries the bulk shock of the finance that we need. So we assume that out of the 36,000 tons of waste that comes into the dump site, that after sorting, we are able to get about 10,000 tons of organic waste annually, which amounts to 27.4 tons of waste each day, which we know this can vary. It can either increase or decrease depending on the waste collected for that day. Then we assumed also that if a standard biogas system yields about 120 cubic meter tons of organic waste per day, then our estimated output for each day will be 3,288 cubic meter per day. And based on FAO, that the estimated biogas energy for a household of 5 and 6 is about 1.2 to 2.0 cubic meter per day. So with this, our waste, we hope that we can be able to confidently support over 1,000 households each day. But we are putting a margin of like just 200 households per day, which we just take about 400 cubic meter of our biogas energy for that day. So again, based on the waste collection, the sorting, and the safety material, we hope that it will provide like community bins, protective gears for the waste collector, and that will amount to about $7,000. Then we also have community training. We hope to train over 50 residents in operation and management of the landfill system. Then the women that will be engaged in gas distribution. So we have to set up like small distribution stations and startup kits, which will cost about $10,000. Then the monitoring and the reports as follows. So how do we know if this will be successful? So based on all what we have planned, we hope that we can be able to monitor the environmental impact by looking at the tons of waste that will be diverted or that will be sorted after this. And we'll be weighing that by weighing the waste and tracking the landfill reduction. Then again, based on energy justice. So currently we have like this paralytic energy system in our water. We get light like once a day for just 30 minutes or less, or maybe twice in a week. So we hope that with this, we can have this energy justice for household, especially those that will be engaged in cooking and also in heating systems. Again, we hope that there will be positive health outcomes through our air quality devices. We can have like a 40% decrease in respiratory illnesses. Of course, the economic impact, since we'll be creating more jobs for the youth through collection of waste and monitoring, we hope to provide at least 30 jobs for the residents. Then community engagement. So we always want feedbacks from the community, how this can, be moved forward, how we can help more, and how, just on a general term, how we can sustain and move forward the project. So some of the potential challenge I see with this project is the initial cost and maintenance of the landfill, which is not cheap. So it might be a burden, especially for the government to like help with this. Again, we have insufficient waste generation. So if there is a reduction in waste, we might not be able to meet up with our estimated biogas output. However, we hope to have like a backup system whereby the surplus gas will be stored for future emergencies. Then the last but not the least is corruption and mismanagement. Because this is a community affair, we hope that it will be a community affair and manned by the communities. There might be some sort of mismanagement based on family members issue or nepotism or any other sort of thing. In all, we hope to partner with NGOs and private firms that can provide technical support and monitoring as the case may be. So overall, I believe that a new Awotan landfill is possible, and with the help of meaningful individuals, the government assistance, and through this community engagement, we hope that this can be a possibility. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Beatrice, for your very detailed outline of this concept. So if anyone has questions, once again, we'll take them at the end, but feel free to place them in the chat now and continue to show your love in the reactions. Our next presenter is Obed. I will pass it to you to get started. There, we can see you. Wonderful.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So I have sent my presentation to Nicole. I don't know if she can help me to share the presentation.
Give me 1 second, Obed. I'll double check for you.
Yeah, I said that as I have sent my presentation with the email, so I don't know if you can help me to share the presentation. Hello?
Yes,
Yeah.
1 second, please. Vanessa, I just forwarded it to you so you could share it.
Oh. Nicole? Hello?
1 second, Obed. We were not prepared to share for you, so just give us a moment.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Obed, your presentation is agri-piece?
Yep, that's the one.
Okay, it's having me request access. I can't actually download it, the PDF or access it.
Oh, let me try to share it with on WhatsApp.
Okay. Let me know when you've sent it.
Vanessa, I just tried to add a copy in the chat for you. Let me know if you can open that
Yes, I see
one.
that. Let me download it.
Yeah, already in the WhatsApp group.
Alrighty, let me see. Alrighty, great. Let me download the. I think I can open it without downloading it. Okay, I think I'll be able to share it now. 1 second. I am getting it open. It's just taking me 1 second.
I'm trying to see if I could share it to Vanessa. Give me a second. So if I get it before you.
Okay.
Yeah, for some reason the PDF, it downloaded, but it's not opening.
Let me try. I think I can do it.
And I can see it in the preview, so I almost want to just open it in preview. But
I think I'm sharing something.
yes, you are.
Okay.
Thank you, Nikki. And
Right,
Obed,
no,
whenever
thank
you're
you.
ready.
Yeah, thank you. Can I start?
Yes, you can start. You can begin.
Thank you for this chance. Hello, everyone. My name is Obed. I'm a geologist and the climate advocate from Congo, DRC, currently living in Malawi. So, my project talk about the Agri-Peace, a youth urban farming for climate and land justice. Yeah, next slide. For this presentation, I'll talk about 7 main points. The first one will be some challenges that we are facing in Malawi, especially in the Dzaleka refugee camp. And the next one, I'll talk about the solution. Yeah, that's talk the Agri-Peace urban project, and then the community leadership. The next point will be the partners and the youth training. After that, I'll talk about the budget, the land justice policy, and the impact and the vision for the future for this project. The next. So this project, it's a project led by young farmer and local youth in Dzaleka refugee camp here in Malawi. And I think together we can create a world without food and security, and the world with a peace. Next slide. Next year, the Dzaleka refugee camp was made for about 10,000 people, but now more than 50,000 live here. Many of us are young, but we don't have land or job. The land is dry and there is no much water, but we are doing our best to fight against climate change. And I think this project will be the response on these issues. Next. Next slide. So our idea is to start a small green farm near Zaleka, and it will call Agri-Peace Farm for refugee and for local youth. We'll work together as one team. We will use clean and smart ways to farm, like composting, planting trees, and cleaning the soil with special plants such as moringa and sunflower. This farm will give food, jobs, and also friendship between people, refugees, and the local community. Next. So this project will belong to the people, refugee and local families. It will help to plan everything together in meeting. We will use our own languages like Swahili, Kirundi, and Chichewa so that everyone can understand what we are doing here in the camp. Women and young people with disability, they will also include as a part of this project. Next slide. The next. Okay, for partners, our target partners was the GRS, Refugee Jesuit Refugee Service, that will help us to organize the community meetings. The University of Malawi will test the soil to help us a lot because you know that the soil impact in farming have a big impact in farming, and the University of Malawi will test the soil and help us to learn about clean farming. We'll also have a partnership with the Youth in Agriculture initiative. We will teach us, they will teach us how to manage the farm and plan small projects. In total, 25 young people will be trained. They will learn how to grow food and how to become leaders for peace and justice. The next one. Our project will take around 12 months and it will cost about 36.650 US dollars. In the first 2 months, we will test the soil and we will try to do some workshop with the community. Then we'll prepare the land and make irrigation and start planting. After that, we will do the training and we will see the market days and have some peace meeting per month. And at the end, we will have, for this project, we will harvest and share our results with the local community. The next slide. For the land justice and policy, you know that here in Malawi, land is a big issue that we are facing. As refugees, we don't have land rights, but we want to show a new way that can allow us to have this right. But this project is more than project, it's the first way to advocate for the lands here in Malawi. And we will start with local land sharing agreements between refugees, and local community. Later, we will try to make a bigger plan called a community land use agreement to share land failure and peaceful. Our project will also support the national goals like the Malawi climate change policy and the Vision 2063, and it will support also Malawi climate, the Malawi climate carbon market framework. Next slide. Yeah, for the impact and the future vision, in 1 year, I think our project will train 25 youth and help 50 families to have a fresh food and make the soil healthier. You while using some natural and sustainable agriculture. We will also have 10 peace meeting with refugees and local community. We will see less fighting over land and more friendship between young people. In the future, we hope to make 3 more farms like this one. It means this project will be the project pilot that will help us to make another three farms, and our youth groups will sell food in the local market and continue to work on their own. The big dream that I have now, we want to turn Dzaleka, once a place of pain, into a place of life, a place of hope and peace. Because we believe that refugees are not victims. We are land leaders and peace builders. Thank you for your support, and I really appreciate this time. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that riveting presentation. And thank you all for your patience. We know that we're at the hour, but if you have a few more moments, we're going to do our Q&A with our speakers. So for each of our presenters today, if you all don't mind turning your camera on, I'll ask each of you questions, and then I'll also see if there are questions from our attendees, our audience. So Gyasi, I'll ask you your question first because you presented first, and then Beatrice, followed by Obed. So I did want to ask a question about implementation and sustainability. The Resilience Hub is a cornerstone of your plan. Beyond the initial capital funding, what is your vision for the long-term operational sustainability of the hub? Who will staff it during activations, and how will you secure ongoing funding for supplies, maintenance, and training?
Thank you, Vanessa, for your question. And so I did get into this more in my plan and my actual assignment, but I envision the county coming together with the city of District Heights to co-develop a funding strategy. So outside of capital improvements, startup costs to get the hub running, the staffing needs and the resources for the future, I believe that the county should at least be able to propose some sort of cost sharing structure, and where we are dedicated a certain amount of dollars per year to staff and fund, really to fund so that we can staff the hub, because I envision this would be municipal staff and volunteer time, and not necessarily the county providing any staff time in that, like, regularly. I also think that a co-development, a co-funding strategy should also include looking at some private grant dollars or foundation dollars that can also work to sustain the hub long term. But those were sort of my two big ones. Is we have to both put some collateral in local government and county. And so let's go in with some sort of shared funding stream where we're both putting in some sort of equal balance of a dollar amount, as well as looking at, what kind of private dollars that we can get for a 5-year period, 2-year period, things of that nature. Was there another part to your question, Vanessa? Did we lose Vanessa? There she is.
I had a bit of a technical issue, but I'm back. Sorry, were you still in your response, Gyasi? I'm so sorry.
I just finished.
Oh, okay, perfect. Well, we got it recorded, so that's what matters.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I answered all of your questions.
Yes, I trust that you did. Let me see if there was any questions for you in the chat. And seeing none, I'd like to move on to Beatrice. So thank you again for not only your presentation, but also for your response. Okay, so Beatrice, give me one moment to read the question that I have for you. Sorry, I'm having some freezing issues with my Zoom, so pardon me. All right, I think we're back in business here. Just give me one moment. It's asking me to log in, but I'm still logged in. Okay. So Beatrice, my question for you is, you shared a lot of technical information, and so I'm going to lean into that around the technical feasibility and scale. So your target is to divert 1,000 tons of waste with 50 square meter digester. So could you walk us through the math on the digester's capacity and the expected daily biogas yield? And then also feel free to expand on what is your detailed plan for ensuring a consistent supply of sorted organic waste, which is critical for the digester to function. Oh, and you're still on mute.
Okay, thank you for your question. So the 50 cubic meter of the digester was actually in the report I submitted, but I had like some tweaks, so I've like changed that. So we are working towards like 600 cubic meter because I didn't get the waste correctly. So I mistakenly wrote 36,000 instead of 3,600 instead of 36,000. So based on the 36,000, our organic waste, we assumed it's going to be like about 10,000. And that will be like 28% of all the waste that will come into the landfill. So if you do the maths, if we have like overall 10,000 tons of organic waste, divide by 36, it will be getting, divide by 12, we'll be getting like a daily waste of 2.74 tons per day. And like I said, we hope that it will be a standard biogas. And from research, a standard biogas yields about 120 cubic meter biogas per tons, which if we multiply it by the 2.74 waste per day, it will give us a total of 32,288 cubic meter per day, which if we give that to like 200 households, each of the households will be getting like 16.44 cubic meter of biogas energy per day for cooking or for heating. Then based on the scalability and the sustainability of this, just like Gyasi said, we hope that we'll have like support from the federal government and also well-meaning individuals, and for the continuation of the waste. So we have like small markets around us, and most times they have this perishable goods. So we hope that since it's based on a community's engagement stuffs, that they will be able to like bring this waste instead of just dumping it out on the street. They will be able to like bring it for us to enhance the potential of all this organic waste. And we have other communities around us that still make use of this landfill. So we hope that these communities will also bring in their waste, and they can of course purchase the gas, or well, when we scale it up, we can also extend to outside communities other than Awotan. But so far, this is just like the brief overall stuff that I have about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that response. Okay, and for our final presenter, I want to ask a little bit about conflict and governance. So, Obed, bringing together refugees and the host community to manage a shared resource is a powerful approach, but can be also challenging. What specific structures or processes will you put in place to ensure fair decision making and resolve our conflicts? Let me say that part again. What specific structures or processes will you put in place to ensure that fair decision making and also the ability to resolve any conflicts that might arise will work cooperatively? That question is for Abed.
Yeah, thank you. But can you come back again?
You said, can I read it again?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to read it a little bit slowly. So, um, bringing together refugees and the host community to manage a shared resource is powerful, but can also be challenging. So the question is, what specific structures or processes will you put in place to ensure, one, fair decision making, and two, conflict resolution that may arise within the cooperatives?
Yeah, okay, thank you. You know that I've been here in Malawi for now 1 year, and I know the challenges that we are facing. And the first approach will be we will go to advocacy. Advocacy is a powerful way to assure that, despite the challenges that we face, but we will work together and do our best to assure that local communities and the refugees, they are trying to grow food together so that they can create a world of peace and a new and a new approach for the government. And the next situation, I think you will go to the national government, and as I said, that the project will support climate the climate uh, carbon market framework for here in Malawi. And this project will be the first project pilot that will allow us to reach our goals despite the challenges those we are going to face. Thank you. Hello, thank you, I think.
You're on mute, Vanessa.
Oh, I'm on mute now. Thank you so much, Abed, for sharing that with us. And thank you all for your presentations. If I don't see any additional questions, Nikki, do you have any questions that you would like to ask our fellows?
No, I just want to say great job to everyone. Thank you so much.
Okay, wonderful. So I'm just going to make a few closing announcements. If you all have just a few more minutes of time. Um, so just three things that I'd like to share with folks. The first one is, all righty, here we go. So first up, so we will be back here for our next group of presentations on Wednesday, November 5th at 4 p.m. Eastern. That's Wednesday, November 5th at 4 p.m. Eastern. For our next fellows presentations, we will hear from Jessica Clark, Alana Lewis, and Unjin Kim, and we will be able to share the link in the chat for you. Second of three is please join us also that same day, November 5th at 6:30, to hear our executive director, Dr. Shakobi Wilson, discuss the historical impacts of redlining policies and their residual effects on climate change in underserved communities. We will drop that link for you to register, which is required. And last but not least, one last reminder for our program fellowship. We'll be launching for 2026 again, which we're so excited about. So once again, if you have anyone interested in next year's cohort, please have them contact us at fellows@ceej.org or have them come to our info sessions. One will be on November 10th at noon Eastern, and the other one will be on December 16th at 7. Thank you all for your time, your attention. Thank our fellows again for all of your hard work and engagement this whole cohort year, and of course today. And we look forward to seeing you all on November 5th. Once again, all those links are in the chat. Thank you all. Take care, be well, and get home safe. From Zoom, so I guess get home safe doesn't make sense, but you know what I mean. All right, take care.
Thanks, Vanessa. Take care.